It's not turning off. Alrighty. Live. This is not
Ma'am?
this is not a no. No, because it wasn't set up to do a live.
And you're tuned in to 95.3 Jams, Houston's #1 digital radio station and Houston's home for jams.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. If you've been enjoying the music right here on KPJZ 95.3 Jams. Of course, I'm your girl, the Mountain Moving Monica, right here on Mountain Monica Radio Talk Show, where we talk about people, politics, and purpose every single Monday, Central Standard Time, 12 to 2. And so, okay, I gotta get this one started over here. Hey, but earlier we did a shout out for the week, went to Thurgood Marshall High School's students. The track and field team went all the way again for the third consecutive year, and y'all know 3 is my number. But yes, they went all the way to win the third consecutive championship in track and field. The boys team did, and the girls did great as well. We're just so proud of our young people and the work that they're doing out there, not just, athletically wise, but just academically wise, and of course their character, their values, because as we talk about people, politics, and purpose right here on Mount Monica Radio Talk Show, it's important for us to really uplift those younger generations that are coming behind us and passing the baton, being role models, being mentors, setting a standard, setting what the expectations should look like. And so we're so proud of those kids out there. Forbin ISD schools, Thurgood Marshall High School students, great job to the track and field boys team on their third consecutive win. And they've actually had multiple championships over the years, but it's very rare that someone can win it 3 years in a row, which is what they did. And of course, Marshall High School has been having some great strides over the last few years in their academics as well as in their athletic department. Their girls volleyball team, their boys and girls basketball team, obviously the girls and boys track team. They have so many wins, so many phenomenal accomplishments out there, a lot to be proud of. And of course, many of them that have gotten scholarships to go on to higher education. I know back in the day, and even currently, we have a lot of students that went on to the NBA, the NFL, like DeAndre Washington. He was a graduate of Marshall High School back in, I want to say it's 2011. And so he went on to play with the Raiders and a few other teams. I mean, he's right out of there in Missouri City. Of course, out there in District A, where I serve as council member. But guys, I just want to do that shout out and just tell y'all, wherever you are zoned to a school, okay, because everybody is zoned to some school, whether you have kids in public education schools or not, please get involved with our youth and help them to strive to be the best, young adults and civic leaders, they can possibly be. Don't always try to steer them into politics, okay, because that's not necessarily the route for everyone, but steer them in a manner in which their civic duties can be exemplary by voting, by being engaged, by being a leader, as well as mentoring those that are coming behind them. Because I truly have seen, honestly, the fruit of my labor of all the hundreds and hundreds of kids that I've mentored over the last 2 decades of my life, and being able to see how wonderful they turned out to this day. And many of their kids I've mentored as well. I done mentored kids and kids. That just kind of shows how old they are, not me, how old I am, but how old they are. But I'm just excited about our young people, our youth, and our younger generations, even those that are coming up behind me, not just necessarily that are in my age group, because I'm in my 50s, but you know, those are in their 30s and their early 40s, and stuff like that. So, but be a good example, not just for our youth as well, but just be a good example in the community. Show the love of Christ, show the love of God that you have in your heart, and let that be, you know, an external expression of how you are on the inside. Because y'all know what they say, whatever's going on the inside is going to come out on the outside. I'm a firm believer of that, because trust me, I do it as well, with people and with situations. None of us are exempt, but we are human beings, and so I just really want to encourage you guys to continue to work on yourselves, work on whatever your purpose is, as well as strive to be the very best that you can possibly be. Next week, we're going to be, I want to say congratulations to Fort Bend County has a new Fort Bend County Democratic chairperson. Fred Taylor won the runoff election on this past week during the primary runoff election, the May 28th election. So if you were watching those runoff elections, very, very small turnout in Harris County and in Fort Bend County. As we move on to politics, Fort Bend County has 550,000 registered voters. Now, how many came out and voted? A little over 8,000 voted in the primary. That's a significant difference, which means 490 some thousand people did not vote in a runoff election. Okay, there were judges, there were all sorts of people on this election ballot, but I think a lot of people that are in the Democrat Party were really watching that Democrat Party chair position. You had two candidates, Jennifer Cantu and Fred Taylor. After it being 4 individuals in the original primary back in February, and March 5th primary election day, it went down from 4 candidates to 2, and those 2 that did not receive the 50% plus 1 went to have to basically do a whole nother re-election. And so the winner and the person who had the highest votes, 50% plus 1, in that race, the election results came out on May 28th, which is Tuesday. Fred Taylor, many of y'all probably have heard of him, but he is now the new Fort Bend County Democratic chairman of the that particular area. And so I believe he's going to be sworn in on Monday, not this coming up Monday, but the following Monday, June 17th at 5 p.m. And so if you guys are available and want to meet your new chair, if you're a part of the Democratic Party, that's where you can go and meet him, reach out and give him his congratulations. We here at KPJZ 95.3 Jams want to wish him all the success and the best, and congratulations on your win. And thank you to all the candidates that put their names in the hats to race for this particular chair. It is a big role, because as you guys know, when you are serving as the Democratic chair or even on the Republican chair, your job is to help all of your party candidates win their election in whatever specific race that they're running. You can't be partial. You can't be you have to be inclusive. You can't be oh, well, this person is my friend, so I'm only going to support this Democrat, but yet there's 2 or 3 others in the particular race. And so it's a big challenge for anybody who takes on the party chair, whether it's Harris County or, whether it's Democrat Party or Republican Party. They are charged to a high degree to help all of their party candidates win their election. And so as we go on to the November races, as you know, we're done with the primaries. Everything has been decided. Those that are going to be on the ballot are going to be your Republican nominee, your Democrat nominee, your independent nominee, your Green Party nominee, Libertarian nominee, whatever party affiliation is out there that has a candidate on the ballot. They're all going to be on that ballot representing their party in that particular role. So whether it is a judge role or it is a constable role or it's a commissioner role, whatever that is, those individuals will be garnering votes based on their either their relationship in the party and their relationship with voters. But before we move on to talking about the November elections, I definitely want to stop and take pause to say congratulations and thank you to the current and retiring, as I would probably call it, party chair for the Democratic Party out there in Fort Bend County, Cynthia Ginyard. She has served and reigned in her role for 8 years, and being in that position, she's represented as a strong leader and someone that has been able to she gets the credit for turning the county blue in Fort Bend County. And so definitely want to say a big shout out. Thank you so much for your service, Cynthia Ginyard, Chairwoman. We appreciate all the work that you have done, and all the volunteer work and all of the advice that you've given to all of your candidates over the years. There will be a farewell reception, a Blue Bash farewell reception that's going to be on next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, June 14th, 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Sugar's Cajun Restaurant out there off of FM 292 in Missouri City. So thank you, Sugar's. You're going to be hosting one of the biggest, baddest Blue Bashes right on this side of Texas in Missouri City. So whether you guys are coming out to for the actual reception, come on out there and support Sugar's, get your drinks, get your food, but definitely want to encourage everyone, if you know Cynthia Ginyard, the chairwoman of the Fort Bend County Democratic Party, if you knew of her, if you know her personally, or if you've known or you followed her work over the last years, come on out and celebrate her as she gets ready to pass the baton on to the new chairman and complete her reign. So her last day is Sunday, June 16th, which is Father's Day. But yes, they're going to be having a huge Blue Bash farewell reception for County Chairwoman for Fort Bend County, Cynthia Ginyard, on Friday, June 14th, 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Bring your BYOC, bring your own cash, BYOCC, bring your own credit card. And celebrate. And of course, if you want to provide a gift, we of course recommend you giving her a monetary gift. She has worked absolutely free as a volunteer all of these years. So if you want to be a blessing, you can give her a monetary gift, but give her flowers while she is here to smell them and enjoy them. And again, want to say a shout out and congratulations to the new judge-elect, Oscar Telfair of the Court 387 in Fort Bend County. He ran, there were two others in the primaries, and he ran a huge race out there in Fort Bend County, and wound up going to the runoff with Jamie Jordan. Many of y'all know her, as well as Oscar Telfair. And of course, in this past May 28th election day, Oscar Telfair pulled it off with about 50% more, 50% plus one and more on the election night, and is now the Fort Bend County Judge of Court 387, which is a family court. So this is where he'll see all the family court issues and child custody and all sorts of things, divorces, family disputes, stuff like that. And I just want to let you guys know, he does not have a Republican opponent, so he is the judge. That's weird that you would get elected and have a job in June, but you can't actually start it till January. But yes, that's when all the swearing in will take place in January, that first week of January 2025. So shout out and a huge congratulations to Oscar Telfair. He is no stranger to KPJZ 95.3 Jams, and of course a dear friend of Movn Monica. He calls me $1 Million Movn Monica. He had 4 M's. But thank you so much for your service, everyone, all the candidates, for everyone that put their name in the hat during the primaries. And as we head on to the November races, hey guys, I want to make sure that y'all know that if you did not vote in the primaries and you didn't vote in these municipal races, you need to get ready to vote in November, because we cannot have low voter turnout in November, mainly because I'm going to be on the ballot. But yes, we have a lot of good people out there that are vying for your vote. So please make sure that you are ready. You have your license that is not expired. Make sure that your adult children, that they still live in the home, or if you know people that have not been registered to vote, please get them registered to vote right now in the county in which they live in. Okay, and if you recently moved or changed your name or whatnot, so go ahead and contact your local entities, your county officials, to have your information changed, have your address changed to match up your driver's license, as well as making sure that, if you have a name change or you got married, just make sure that you're making those necessary changes with your voter registration card. Okay, so get prepared, be prepared, so you ain't gotta figure out how to get prepared down the line. Early voting is going to start in October, so we need y'all to be registered to vote, and get ready to vote in November of this year. A lot of stuff is going to be on the ballot. It's going to be a huge ballot, very long. So I want to make sure that you guys, know what you're walking into. You have the federal, you have the president election that's taking place. You have the congressional stuff that's on there. Senators are on that ballot. Your Texas state representatives. You have your appellate court judges, as well as your local county judges. And then you also have your family court judges, commissioners, constables, sheriff, a whole list of different people that are on this ballot for different positions. And then you also have some of your municipal things on your ballot as well. As you continue to go down, you will have your Missouri City election that is going to be on there. If you live in the city of Missouri City, our local election is going to be on the November ballot, as it has been for the last few years. And then we're going to have some charter review items that are going to also be on the city of Missouri City, Texas ballot as well. So get ready to vote, you guys. And I already know who you're voting for. Don't switch up and go back and forth and all that stuff like that. And if you like the people that have been doing a job, in your community, make sure you vote for them again and show your support. And see, here's one thing that you need to be aware of. Okay, we here at KPJZ 95.3 Jams, the #1 digital radio station in the region, Houston, Texas, and surrounding areas. We give you the facts and the information. And so I do want to tell you guys, you are allowed to vote for anybody on the November ballot. So unlike when you voted in the March 5th primaries, and even if you had to go and vote during the runoff in the May 28th primary runoff, you have to select with which party ballot you're going to pull from. Okay, in November you do not have to do that. It's called a general election, and it's called a general election because it's a general way of voting for anybody. Everybody is up for grabs. Now, with that being said, even though you can vote for anybody, they will still have the letters next to each person's name, whether they are D for Democrat or R for Republican, I for Independent, G for green, L for libertarian. They'll still have those identifications on there. So if those things are important to you and you want to vote based on your party versus people, then of course they will have that signage and that those initials on there, not signage. They will have those initials next to those particular candidates' name so that you will have a better recognition of that. Now, me personally, I always tell people, vote for people. Vote for people that you either look them up, you've engaged with them, you know their work in the community or in your congressional or your state. You know, check the kind of bills that they passed. If they're congressional, senate, or state reps, check and see what kind of bills that they have authored. Check and see how they have voted and what bills that they have passed. Those things mean something. They're really, really important. You can't just vote for anybody. You have to vote for the right people. You have to vote for people that are going to represent you, your community, and your state and your nation correctly. Okay? And the same thing with your local elections. Vote for people that you see in the community that you know that you are able to connect to, because you have a lot of great people out there in your local and your county officials. So if you like the job that they're doing, keep them. I always tell people, if they're doing the job, keep them in office. If they're not doing the job, then hey, fire them, give them their termination papers on election day. But in this particular November race, you get to vote for whomever you want. That's why they call it a general. You can vote for anybody. You do not pull a party-affiliated ballot. You will receive a general ballot. The Republicans will receive the same ballot that the Democrats will receive, the same as the independent, so on and so on. Okay? So vote for people that are going to best represent you and that are going to line up with your whatever desires that you have for them to complete, whatever tasks and assignments and concepts and bills and projects, things like that. So shout out to, hey, Miss Ruby, thank you so much for being on here today. Hey, James, we appreciate you guys out there in Fort Bend County. Thank y'all so much for joining the show via Facebook. And of course, guys, if you guys have any comments, questions for me, don't hesitate to hit me up. You can either email me at monica.riley@953jams.com, or you can DM me on my personal platform, Monica Riley, or the Monica Riley on Facebook, and of course, the Monica Riley the Savage on Instagram. And make sure that you're following me on all my platforms. I know I got a bunch, sorry, but I had to separate things. And so follow my city council, Councilwoman Monica Riley, that page where I put all my council stuff, all of my work with the city, and then the Monica Riley is all of our political stuff, radio, and all, everything else that's going on. Then of course I have my personal account, Monica Riley, where I put stuff by Rocco, the Radical Rileys, and I still put a lot of stuff from the community on there as well. And so just want to say thank y'all so much for always being so gracious to support my radio show. I'm grateful that I have been nominated as Radio Announcer of the Year by the Dr. Robert Sante Foundation and Associates, and I am so excited. The award ceremony and reception is going to be this Saturday, June 8th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. out there in the facility in Bel Air. So we're looking forward to that. I'm excited about being celebrated, receiving my award as Radio Announcer of the Year, and I definitely want to say thank you so much to the Sante Foundation, Dr. Robert Sante and Associates, Foundation and Associates, Miss Rochelle Sante, who was actually on 95.3 Jams a couple of weeks ago. But just thank you so much for everybody that selected and nominated me for this award. I'm really excited. I'm very grateful for it. So, in other news, I want to bring to your attention, yes, we have some of our public officials that have been in the public news about their health crisis. So make sure that you are paying attention and following what's going on with our various leaders who have been in office for a couple of decades. I know some of them have announced about their illness, their sickness, their current health conditions. So please make sure that you follow that and encourage them to pass on the baton before it's too late. Never want to die in a seat. That's not a legacy. That's that's, to me, that's kind of selfish. But hopefully, our leaders will look to see who they can feel comfortable and confident while they have breath in their bodies to pass on the baton, the same way a seasoned, wise woman passed on the baton to me, which was a true example of her leadership, Dr. Cheryl Sterling. I would definitely encourage our leaders, if you're not in the best health, best condition, we're praying for you, lifting you up. But while you still have breath in your body, if it's not looking very positive for you, let's get out there and select some good next generation leaders that can take the baton, take the work that you have done, and continue on the course. And so that we can continue to move our communities forward and continue to make progress for the people that are here and for the future generation of our children as well. So definitely wish them all the best, praying for them. Our thoughts and prayers go out to our public officials and our leaders. Thank you so much to all of our first responders. I know you guys had a busy weekend over Memorial Weekend. I know that our firemen, our police officers, our ambulance teams, and our military services, I know you guys were just all super busy with all the Memorial Day activities out there. But just want to say thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for what you've dedicated to your prospective communities, and definitely want to wish you all the best. Who is that? Oh, hey, Cece. What's going on, Sierra LaShawn, my baby cuz? Love you, girl. I see you out there doing your thing big time. So proud of you and those babies. But yes, thank you so much. Happy Memorial Day. Hope everyone had a great one and safe. And still, I want to remind everybody too, as we get ready to come to a close, your purpose. Okay, we've talked about a little bit of everything. We talked about a little bit of everything: people, politics, and purpose. But as we close, I got some really sad news on yesterday in our city about a drowning of a child, accidentally drowned. So one thing that I want to, and that's very personal for me as it relates to children, but it's also very, it hits home because many of y'all know about our story, the Radical Rileys. Our family was drowning in Destin, Florida, a few years ago, and literally I almost lost most of all of my children in like 10 minutes. And since then, of course, some of them have learned to swim. And so, but I want to tell you guys is, please watch your children around water. I see a lot in society right now, a lot of parents, grandparents, how carefree or cavalier in some cases that people are tending to small children and children in general. You guys, let me tell you something. Children are our most vulnerable population and susceptible to Satan destroying them, okay? So when I say this in love, but I also say this with a sense of hope. It'll convict you as it's convicted me. Pay attention to your children, okay? If you have a pool in your backyard, or a neighbor has a pool, or you're at friends' house that have pools, or you're at an apartment complex where there are pools, or you're at the beach, or at the hotel vacation and there's pools, please watch your children, okay? And even your young people, if they don't know how to swim, you need to keep a close eye on them, okay? And literally keep a close eye on them. If you're drinking at different parties and pool parties and backyard barbecues or whatever the case may be, if there's water around, keep an eye on your children, okay? As a mother who had 7, and at one point in my life, they were all, none of them could help themselves. I had to keep a close eye on all of them. Sometimes I had 2 babies, one in each arm, and had them, had one of them you had to hold into my pocket, and the other one on the other pocket, and had to just keep them all corralled. But I'm really sensitive about this, and my thoughts and my prayers go out to the families who have lost their children through drownings. And I'm going to urge families that have not experienced this to please be mindful of your children. Put your children in swim classes. They have them at the YMCA. You have a lot of local small businesses, starting to have businesses where they'll teach, toddlers and young kids how to swim. I know when I was growing up, my dad took us to the YMCA, so that's how we learned how to swim. And I'm a great swimmer. But make sure that you talk to your kids when they're around water and pools and beaches and things like that. If your kids don't know how to swim, put the floaties on them. Put the life jackets on them. I can honestly tell you, if it had not been for the Lord on our side, and us putting the life jacket on Shyla was 4 at the time when we were in the beach and all of my kids were drowning. Me and my husband, we could not get to them. But Shyla had on a life jacket, which saved her life, because obviously we would have lost her, and she would have went under, and so she couldn't swim. But that was a prime thing. The other kids were a little bit taller, and stuff like that, so they knew to jump, from the bottom to come back up for air. So, but my thing is talk to your kids about pool safety, being at the beach. Don't let your kids just run around the beach and be in the water to where you can't see them. My kids, they're grown kids, and they still can't go further past than what my sight will allow. I'm just very cautious. But my thoughts and my prayers go out to families. If you're going to be swimming in rivers and streams and lakes, all of that, be cautious and be mindful. You don't know what's lurking underneath that water that you can't see. And then if your kids can't swim, you don't know about the currents out there in strange waters. And then, of course, with pools, you don't understand the dangers that are out there. So make sure that you have life jackets on your kids. Check with your local HOA to see if they, in their community pools, if they're having any type of lifeguard lesson, swim lessons with lifeguards. And then also, if you're going to be swimming somewhere in a pool, make sure if you can't monitor, make sure there's a lifeguard on duty at those places. But that's your purpose. Be a great parent. Be a great advocate, and just make sure that you're being mindful of water. And things like that. I also saw an article of a U.S. I want to say it was an Olympic or something like that, where the girl went underwater and she never came back up, and it was her coach that saw her underwater and dove in with all of her clothes on, dove in to pull her back up, because if not, she would have drowned, because she passed out underwater. And of course, she couldn't kick, swim, or do anything to save herself, so someone had to save her. So make sure that you are taking the necessary precautions to save a life, to prevent a tragedy, and prevent an accident, okay? Learn how to swim. Teach your kids how to swim. And if you can't do that, make sure that you're being really mindful of where your kids are around pools, waters, apartments, private pools, lakes, streams, bayous, ponds, lakes, I think I said that one already, and beaches. Okay, so let's just be safe in this holiday vacation season over the summer, so that we can all come back in the fall and have a great year. Make sure that as we continue to go on during hurricane season, they are projecting quite a few hurricanes and tropical storms. We've already experienced several tropical storms, really bad storms right here in Houston, Texas. So I want to encourage you guys to have a emergency preparedness kit. Have all of your insurance, your documents, birth certificates, social security cards, things like that, as well as any medications. Always keep your gas tanks on full, just in case there's an evacuation, or you lose power and you need to charge up your phones or something like that, or have air conditioning in your car. But also just be alert. Make sure that you are checking your local weather alerts, as well as your local city emergency alerts. Just kind of stay in tune. And so with that being said, let's be prepared for our hurricane season. Let's just be prepared and be vigilant human beings, you guys, and help be safe and help keep others safe as well. So with that being said, that's your purpose that I just dropped on you guys, and I hope that you'll have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. I'm your girl, the Mountain Moving Monica, right here on Movn Monica Radio Talk Show, and Vice President of Operations right here at KPJZ 95.3 Jams. Make sure you keep it locked every single day, 12 to 2, or keep it locked on Mondays, 12 to 2, for the Movn Monica, the #1 political radio show in the region. But make sure you listen to us every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to KPJZ 95.3 Jams. Download the TuneIn app, the Waves app. Well, obviously, those that are listening on the radio, y'all have already done that because that's how you listen to me. But for those that are listening via social media, download the Waves app, the TuneIn app, the Zeno app, or the online radio box app. So to listen to us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All the great music that we play, old school, new school, R&B, some rap, not the hardcore stuff, but rap, as well as love jams, like on Love After Dark, Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I wanted to say thank you all so very much. Again, Radio Announcer of the Year by the Dr. Robert Sante Foundation and Associates. I'm honored. I look forward to seeing everybody out on Saturday. This coming up, Saturday, June 8th, 10 a.m. I will be in the place. And then, of course, come and join us next week in the city of Missouri City. We will have a host of festivities Juneteenth, celebrating Juneteenth. Starting on that Friday, June 14th, there's a family fun night in the park, Hunters Glen Park. And then, of course, there's Saturday night, June 15th. We will have our annual Mile of Smiles parade. We're the only one that has a Juneteenth parade. So come out and join us 7 p.m. in Missouri City, Texas, off of Texas Parkway. One of the biggest and baddest Juneteenth celebrations, as well as parade. And then, of course, at Hunters Glen Park again, we'll kick off a whole night concert with Steph Rito, Alexander O'Neal, and so much more. Looking forward to having a great time. All the vendors, all of the food and the music. So shout out to the Missouri City Juneteenth Celebration Foundation, who's coordinating all these efforts and partner with the city of Missouri City, where I serve on city council. Looking forward to the night. I'm headed out, guys. I got to get transitioned one more time so I can go serve my constituents, my neighbors, my residents, and our great city. So again, shout out to Thurgood Marshall. Shout out to all of the winners. Judge-elect Oscar Telfair, Fort Bend County chairwoman for your 8 years reigning as they call a super blue woman, Cynthia Ginyard, and our new party chair, Fort Bend County Chairman Fred Taylor. And congratulations to all of the winners that were successful during this last season. And of course, all of my Sugarland friends, I love you guys. Susan Watley won her race, Nashar Kamali Stewart Jacobs, and Carol McCutcheon. And then in Stafford, again, Alice Chen, City Councilwoman. Alice Chen was reelected and is Mayor Pro Tem. And, of course, Councilwoman Virginia Rosas. And we have our Board of Trustees in Stafford, Manuel Hinojosa is president. And, of course, our newest electee, Ms. Joyce Wilkins, Stafford Municipal School Board trustee, a newbie, freshman. So, hey, just shout out and congratulations to everybody. We thank y'all so very much and appreciate y'all. We'll see you next Monday, 12 o'clock. Be here, be square, but don't be a loser. Love you guys. Take care.
If you love talking about people, politics, and purpose, then you better tune in to Movn Monica Radio Talk every Monday from 12 to 2 Central Standard Time on 95.3 Jams, Houston's #1 digital radio station. The hustle to my passing. You got my shoe boxes like a bump. You should be saying on the big boss, I will end up the band. On my six, on my six.
Bye, y'all. Thank y'all. I'll see y'all next Monday.